Welcome, Mr. Myles, to my podcast. Would you please introduce yourself?
I would be pleased to introduce myself. So my name, first name is Myles, and my last name is Flaig, F-L-A-I-G, and I'm working on creating a Telegram channel, and I'm also on Twitter at Myles Flaig, or now called X. So my name is spelled M-Y-L-E-S, Flaig, F-L-A-I-G. And my family heritage is that my grandmother on my father's side was born in Imperial Russia in Crimea in 1900. Mm-hmm. And she, as a little girl of about 7 years old, with her family, came to Canada. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather on my father's side, who's Emmanuel Flaig, he was born in what is now Moldova, but it used to be part of Imperial Russia again. Mm-hmm. He was born in 1894 and he came over as a boy in 1908. So I now currently reside in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I'd like to acknowledge that I'm on the traditional territory of the First Nations people, the Niitsitapi, also known as the Blackfoot Confederacy. And Canada is a nation of many treaties with Indigenous First Nations people. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of work to do. That's part of my visionary communication pathway. Mm-hmm. So anything else you'd like to know about me? On my mother's side, I should be complete. On my mother's side, my grandfather, Clifford Ott, was born in Alberta in the early 1900s, and his father was as a newcomer to Alberta, the province that I live in, on Treaty 7 in the 1800s. And my great-grandfather, Alfred Ingram, he was born in England. Mm-hmm. I've been a Toastmaster since 1990. I joined Toastmasters in the little city, well, you would call it just a town, but they, for some reason, call themselves the city of Revelstoke, 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 British Columbia. It's a beautiful little city. I sometimes wish I still lived there. And I first attended my first Toastmasters meeting at Mountain View Elementary School. They were actually meeting in one of the classrooms, and we sat in little children's desks. It was quite uncomfortable. So, next question.
Yes, please. So would you please tell me your district, division, and the club name? Where you are official?
Okay, so I presently am a member of 2 clubs. Mm-hmm. One club is Cranston Communicators, Cranston Communicators in Alberta, and I believe we are in District 42. Mm-hmm. And I'm also a member of Moscow Toastbusters, Moscow, Russia, which is a club that meets both online and in person every 2 weeks. And they're part of District 108, which I think is your district as well.
Yes, you are right. I belong to District 108 too. Great. We have the common. I'm an American member, official member too, for District 16, Oklahoma, Praxis Toastmasters Club. Would you please tell me, have you ever participated to the contest championship?
I have participated in contests at the club level, of course. I've made it to area contests I don't think I've ever made it to the division contest, but I have enjoyed going to district conferences over the years, especially when I lived in the little town or city of Revelstoke in the British Columbia district. I forget its number, but I would go to district conferences held in other parts of the district, like Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, which are larger cities here. And I met so many people that I really enjoyed having a connection with, and lots of fun at these district conferences. Met many fascinating presenters, keynote speakers, picked up numerous books. In fact, I also went to the International Conference in 2008 when it was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I met Helen Blanchard, who wrote the book Breaking the Ice. She is the first female member of Toastmasters. And I think in the story, she tells how she actually had to fib. Fib means to tell a lie that's, not really a serious lie. That she was actually a man on her registration. And so, as it says here, this is the story of Helen Blanchard, District Toastmaster. And as I said, I met her at the international conference, and she wrote inside the book to Myles and all his Toastmaster friends, enjoy life's journey. Sorry.
Thank you. How it's inspiring. Would you please
sorry about that.
How Toastmaster affected to your life, career, relationship?
Okay, well, first of all, it very dramatically affected my life because I met my wife through Toastmasters, and I have 2 children because of that. In meeting my wife through Toastmasters. Now, she's not a Toastmaster.
Yeah.
However, she was a friend of another Toastmaster friend of mine, or she is a cousin of a Toastmaster friend of mine. And so, yeah, that was a very dramatic impact on my life. And certainly it's been a big benefit to my career over the years. I'm now retired. And when I was applying for jobs within the company, when they reorganized, at one point, a reorganization required people to submit applications to new positions in the company. And because they saw that I was a Toastmaster, they said, oh, well, we have a job we'd like you to do in safety and regulatory affairs and the delivery of training and education to employees. So Toastmasters helped me get a new job in the company that I was working with.
I see. Okay, thank you for your openness. And do you have any advice for new Toastmaster members, or maybe wisdom for next generation?
Well, I personally, I'll just share something that I'm seeking, and people listening might, take it or leave it. There's many different clubs. There's, I think, almost 14,000 clubs around the world. And you will find they have different personalities, different cultures. And one of the things that I'm searching for, and it's something I was doing as a president of clubs in the past, was I really wanted to find a club that took Robert's Rules of Order super seriously. Now, what are Robert's Rules of Order? Well, Henry Martin Robert was an American Army general, and he came and realized that there was meetings happening, and many people would get into arguments, and they would start to, argue and maybe even get into fights about what the organization should do. And he realized it's really because there were no rules of parliamentary procedures. Parliamentary procedure, rules by which people will get the floor, be able to speak what they need to and want to say, and then other people can respond in an orderly fashion. So in fact, I found this book by Henry Martin Robert, an old book from the 30s, one of his early editions of Robert's Rules of Order. I now have the more recent versions of his book on the Rules of Order, Parliamentary Procedure. And Robert's Rules of Order are what we in Toastmasters are actually required to follow during business meetings. And, some people say, oh, it's just so much work, these rules, this is not a lot of fun. Well, I think they can be fun, but many people just have their meetings and do it very casually. I bought this book from Toastmasters called The Great Peacemaker. And one of the reasons I'm so pleased that we had this meeting, or you called me to have this podcast with you, is because I have had this book on my shelf, but it's been a long time since I pulled it out. Again, The Great Peacemaker, about Army General Henry Martin Robert, creator of Robert's Rules. But this is a book by the founder of Toastmasters, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. And again, the Great Peacemaker he's referring to is Henry Martin Robert, the American Army general who came up with Robert's Rules. So I'm going to be getting back into this book because I think it fits very much with my visionary communication pathway that I'm on. And again, just encouraging people to, not be afraid of Robert's Rules of Order. There are books available that make the rules a lot easier to understand. So you can get, for example, Robert's Rules in plain English. See, it's a much thinner book. It doesn't have all the rules in it. Here's another one, Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised in brief. So I'll conclude by saying to anybody listening to this podcast, if you know of a club that takes Robert's Rules super seriously in their business meetings, I'd like to know, because I'd like to be a guest someday. So that's my advice to all Toastmasters.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for such kind of advice. Probably I will ask about the book. I will search on it. Do you know about the Odyssey project? Have you heard about it?
In fact, I was participating in the Odyssey program, and I met numerous people and encourage people to try the Odyssey program. And you are encouraged to, have a connection with a mentor, or be a mentor to someone, or be a mentee for someone. And you can, change these collaborations as you see fit. So I was very blessed to have a mentor, Jaap Ruschenberg of the Netherlands, and I was also so I was a mentee to Jaap, and I was a mentor to Anna Saravina, or am I getting her name correct? You know her. I'm Marina
Sarajeva.
Saravina.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Okay, and I had the reason I'm getting confused is I had also a mentor in Romania named Anna, and there's a little bit of a story why a bit of a mix-up with respect to that connection. But nevertheless, I just wanted to say that these interactions were very beneficial. I am, however, contending with a personal health issue that has me going in and out of the hospital. And I just told my collaborators in Odyssey that I have to step away for a bit as I deal with my health issues.
I see. Oh, great experience with Odyssey project. Thank you. It looks like you made so many input into your mentees. Yeah, I see. How about, do you have any idea how we can promote the Odyssey project to make it better?
Well, oh gosh, I think that the platform is very effective. It's very detailed. I like how you upload your personal profile, your interests, and the Odyssey people match you with someone might be in a different part of the world. So you can also network. You don't have to be in a mentor or mentee relationship. You can just network. And I was networking with a Toastmaster in Beijing, China. So that was fascinating, and got to share information about her experiences in Toastmasters and in China, and my experiences here in Canada. And so that was fascinating. Wow, I would just encourage people to give it a try. There's, you can come and go as you please. And maybe someone else will make some suggestions as how to improve it. I, just off the top of my head, have nothing but praise for Odyssey. So you got me stumped on what you could do to improve it. Other than what you're doing, you're doing this podcast and we're sharing information about it. And hopefully people will see this podcast and check out Odyssey.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Last question. Would you please tell me, have you ever been in an officer role? Any officer role?
Yes, I have. I've been, I think, in every officer role over my years since 1990. It's going back a ways. And I've been club president. But honestly, I would suggest to everybody that I think the most important role on the executive committee is to be an effective secretary. And the secretary role is so vital to the operation, maintenance, and sustainability of a club. And the secretary, it's not a complicated job, but it does require attention to detail. And one of the things that we need to be doing is keeping minutes of the meetings. That's the secretary's job, keeping minutes of the business meetings. And those documents, those minutes, that record of what business was transacted at any meeting are to be kept for 7 years. And also, it might not be known to people, and maybe something's changed, but there is a requirement, again, unless it's changed, that the hard copies of members' applications be kept on file. And so the secretary is the keeper of the files, and the secretary is obligated to pass those files on and those minutes, records of the meetings, to the next secretary. And that keeps a historical record of the club's activities. And it's a challenge, though, because many clubs are faced with, well, where do we keep these records? How do we maintain a cabinet, a file cabinet that will move with the executive over the years? So it's a challenge, but again, in summary, step up to the secretary role is my encouragement, because I think it's perhaps the most important role.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and energy and input to the society, and hope to see you in my next podcast. I'm honored to have you.
My pleasure. It
Thank
was
you.
really a great experience.
Thank you.